I don't know why it is a taboo. Because you're a girl, because you're a woman, you are not entitled to inherit what belongs to your father. Even if you are married out, you are still entitled to your father's inheritance.
The legal system is trying to move with modern times, basically. It's known that in Africa, Nigeria specifically, back then till maybe very recently, inheritance has always been an issue for women, especially when it comes to being married. Being single, you are denied the right to inherit properties from your father when he passes on. And then you getting married and having a husband, they'd rather pass the properties to maybe your sons, not even your daughters. If you don't have sons, then the property goes to the next person, basically. But Nigeria is trying to bring women into the picture. You know, now there's so much women activism, feminism, where women want to have their voices heard in society. Women are trying to make a change. Women are trying to incorporate themselves into, you know, general issues of the world. So the legal system or the judiciary in Nigeria passing a law that, you know, talks about women's rights and allows them to have gains on inheritance, whether through marriage or through their parents. I think it's very awesome.
Okay, I know that the law is actually commendable because for so many years, women have actually been victimized. And it's even very funny that they don't even know that they are being victimized. But they are not allowed to inherit properties. They are not allowed to even speak when men are being spoken to, especially in communities or society meetings or village meetings. So women has actually been victimized and they've been put under a shell for so long a time. But these laws have come up, like there's a decided case in UKG versus UKG. The Supreme Court held that no female should be discriminated upon by birth or whatsoever in inheriting properties, whether she was born out of wedlock or whatever it is. Everybody has equal rights. The same right a man has, that's the same right a woman has to inherit properties. Whether in her father's side or in her husband's side, she has the equal rights. So I think the judicial system has actually done a great job by making sure that women are actually part and parcel of what is going on in families when it comes to inheritance, and being one of them.
The law it's a very important one. Coming at this time, it's very important because before now, women were like discriminated against in inheritance and in their father's to their father's property and even in their husband's homes. So this law has come to protect the rights of women to those property. And the law comes in different parts. There is the first part, which has to do with the rights of women, female children and women. Female children, like in your father's house, you are a daughter, and then as a wife or a widow. Then it has a second part which has to do with a woman's right. You know, like in most homes, a woman doesn't even have any say. You know, she doesn't have, she can co-own property with her husband according to this law. You know, but before now there wasn't anything like that. Like a woman cannot own anything of her own. Then there is also that provision for widows and divorcees. If if you have, if a woman's husband is dead, or the divorce process has gone on and the husband is dead, she can inherit. A widow can inherit, provided the woman has not remarried. Then there is also the general provision, which has to do with, I think, different practices and all of that against women. Then there is also the penalty section, which has to do, I think it's 2 years or a fine of 500,000 or both, where the rights of those women are trampled upon. And also, it is very important. It is very important. Women were stripped of everything. You can imagine you're living in a house with somebody, just because he dies, you'll be thrown to the streets. You don't have a say, or because you are a girl child, your brothers can inherit. Or let's say you are the only, your mother has only had girl children and there is no boy. So because you are a girl, you cannot inherit anything. But this law is very, very important. So it is kudos to the government for bringing this law.
Now we took up another issue that has to do with inheritance, which is where we are today. A lot of women complain that, especially those that are widows, are we together? Women, especially those that are widows, they complain about how they are being victimized, how their rights are being violated, their spouses, or relations wouldn't want them to either move on with marriage, and many times they want to confiscate the properties from them. Some also complain that when they don't have a male child, they always see them like the children they have are not relevant children. As such, they don't have right to access the properties or any landed property, landed property, buildings, whatever that are assets that their husband would have kept. Many of these issues came up from our last discussion, and we felt it very necessary to bring this up now, in the sense that this is 16 days of activism, and this year's team says the time to act is now. We have done a lot of talking. We have done a lot of sensitization. What we are looking for now is action. So I will be inviting very special female lawyers in our midst today to come sit with us, have a discussion. They will make you understand in a very layman's term what that law is all about and how you can actually utilize that law to address your challenges, to address the violations they are having, or seek redress from through and from appropriate medium. This very special lady in our midst today is a lead consultant at the Ogoni, a human resource management and development services firm. She is a multi-skilled professional, an IDEX Global Fellow with over 25 years experiences in the social impact space. She is an alumna and trained facilitator of leadership effectiveness, accountability, and professionalism in Africa. She has that Leadership and Integrity Institute programs and one of the first 25 Beijing Eaglets selected by the United Nations Women, Nigeria, to mark the 25th anniversary of the Beijing Conference and to champion the cause of women and girls going forward. She is a British Council author, committee head of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, Nigeria, River State Branch. Thank you. And a member of the Nigerian Bar Association Port Harcourt Branch, and has worked across all geopolitical zones of Nigeria. My dear beautiful mothers and sisters here present, please permit me to welcome to the high table Barrister Mrs. Okorite Wayobo. I wouldn't stop at that. I would like to also bring to the high table here. This is actually our podium. Another distinguished lady, a personality who incidentally is one of our own, though was born in Port Harcourt. She hails from Bere in Yonkana District, Kingdom in Kana LGA. This person I want to talk about attended Baptist Nursery School in Port Harcourt, Primary School, and Archdeacon Crowder Memorial Girls Secondary School, Lelelewo. She has a Bachelor of Law from the University of Abuja and was called to the bar in the year 2010. She is proficient in French language and public speaking, a qualification she obtained from the Centre Cultural Français, Abuja, and Alpha Institute of Broadcasting, Port Harcourt. Our guest or panelist is a full-time legal practitioner. She is also a member of Toastmasters International, a member of the Nigerian Bar Association, and the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA. Her area of legal practice includes, though not limited to, championing the rights of women and children. Please, let's welcome Barrister Mrs. Baidakara Rose Lunye Kinako to the podium. So we are going to call in another young lawyer who is going to be with us here, and she's going to flank our lead discussant on her right. Her name is Barrister Daisy Omekara. She is also a FIDA member, and she's happy to be with us here. You are most welcome, please, here.
Wetin be discrimination? Sometimes we don family meeting, the thing wey dem dey talk, you get idea. You want to make contribution, somebody go say keep quiet, wetin you know? You are just a woman. Who it don happen to before? Sometimes that thing wey you dey talk na im make sense, na im be solution to the problem wey dey ground. But because e come from you, dem say keep quiet. The law say no, e no suppose be like that. You be human being. You know the Nigerian Constitution says nobody should be discriminated against because you be woman, or because you fair, or because you tall. Nothing. So this law is just emphasizing that same thing where Constitution don't talk. Nobody should discriminate against you. It says you get right to dignity. What be dignity? When they don't treat you anyhow, you get that right. You know, in the Constitution, we call it one of the inalienable rights. In other words, just say you be human being. Now, right where you get. Before we begin talk of whether you be boy, you be girl, the fact say you be human being, then born you put for this world. Now you're right. So this law too, they emphasize. They repeat them again to say, you get dignity as a person. So nobody should discriminate against you. And they should not deprive you. When they not talk, say, hey, we want share, you know, follow. Some people that want share something, your brothers know their village. They go say, may your brothers come first. It don't happen to you before. They go say, may your brothers come first. Even if your brother they call, they say, go, collect them for me. They go say, no, may your brother come first. The law say, they correct. You be human being. So you get rights to represent the family. If now you there on ground. When it comes to property too, then suppose share give you. That's what the law talk about. You also have rights to inherit. But you see, these rights now, they're subject to will. So for instance, if your papa get will, what in the will, you call lawyer, say, in case I die tomorrow, see how my property go there. If that kind thing there, and he no give you, that one day different. Even though some people see they challenge them, they go say, my papa pikin, why no give me? But that one day different. But this one where the man die, the woman die, no will. They don't write anything like that. But custom don't talk say, as long as you be woman, you no get share. Or as long as you don't marry out, you no get share. Now see the double wahala where women get. You dey your papa house and go say, you be girl, you no need to get property. Then you go your husband house. Your husband family go and say, you want to take our property, go your papa house, we no go give you. So the two places, no one way you follow. This law say no, it's not right. That you marry no mean say you no be your papa picking again. How many of us they married? Well, you dey husband house, but when problem they your papa house and they call you. But when you reach the share, they don't agree when you share. Now so then they do, they deceive themselves. When you reach problem, you be daughter of the family. They go praise you, call you. You go hustle, gather money, go do. But when you reach something to benefit, they go say go your husband house. Now wickedness. This law say they correct.
So it's proper for people to put their houses in order. So that things, good say, now you struggle for something. Person wey no dey wan carry eye see you. Go come sit down well for the thing tomorrow, shifting body. Say this society where we dey. Now people wey gather muscles, people wey gather shoulder. Now then they sit down well. So that's how the thing go be. The brother will be our father, will be our brother, when no one put in house together. When you no do things properly, things go bad. So it doesn't mean say you write will today. It means say tomorrow morning before you wake up, you don't die. You fit write will today, you know that in the next 100 years. So that is very important. Sometimes you fit write the will at this point. Maybe you get land where they. This land A, I want to make my first son take am. Land B, I want to make my second daughter take am. You fit they alive now from this speaking now where them be 5 years. God fit bless you so they children self no go even need those things in future. The death will come when the children they don't even get their own and all. It's okay. So make people they learn to put their houses in order. So this law where we they talk about, if you no move, now something they happen to you, bring your voice down, no. It's not good say make people begin to hear all this kind of thing, national life. And nothing will happen to human being will be shame. There is nothing new under the sun. Today na my own story. Tomorrow it will be another person's story. So when things go wrong, talk to people. Nobody will feel your pain like you. So you have to be very, very proactive. You get to really know say this is not what I want for myself. So talk to people. Then the law is plenty for our society. But the problem is say we know they pursue this law. We know they look for this law. The law, you see this book where they here. It go there inside the book like print. It no go happen for us until we look for it. Thank you very much.
And I'll also be talking about some of the things that we see in the offices. So I'll give you an example. There was this woman that came to the center to, she came for an inquiry. And I loved her inquiry. That was beautiful. Her husband had just died. And she just came and she's like, so she just came to ask that, her husband just died and she just has 2 children. And she does not know what to do. Like, okay, in case of when maybe her husband's people will come and drag the properties and everything, because the man had a lot of properties and she just has 2 girls. That what's she going to do? So I was even asking her, have they started dragging the properties? And she's like, no. I was like, this is beautiful. So I was now telling her, okay, where is the document So she was telling me that she has already carried it and she hid it somewhere. I was like, smart. So that before we start going into the cases of, oh, they've taken the properties, they've stolen it, and then we are now in court going to start running around before everything now come, like years must have passed. But at this point, you are the one with the documents to the property. That was a smart thing. So this is something that I think that everybody should, everyone should look into. So the fact that, okay, your husband has these properties and everything, like, let your eye be, looking at everything that is going on in the house. Where is this property kept? In case of, I'm not saying, like, I'm not wishing anybody any bad luck, but in case this thing happens, so how are we going to handle this? Immediately you see where the document is, you keep it somewhere before the family members will come and start telling you, oh, as a woman, you cannot inherit the property too. And most times, I always say, I think the women are being aware of, like, the rights they have now. Is the problem now stands on the men, because, oh, you already know this thing, and then when it really happens now, the man is not aware of these laws, and then they are dragging with you and all. So whenever it comes to inheritance of properties, you should be very vigilant. You should be very vigilant. Know your rights and what you should do. And when there is cause for alarm, let me say, when there is cause of, oh, they've taken up the properties from you, you can report to our center. You can find any lawyer that can help you to take up the matter as well.
Lawyers, please, I want to find out something. Is there anything like an illegitimate child? Because in this part of the world, most of us are Wibugan. Our parents don't get married and they give birth to us. If my father was not legitimately married to my mom, can I go to my father's compound to claim properties with my step-siblings? Will I be allowed? Is there any provision in the law for that? Thank you very much.
My name is Happiness Omole. In my place where I come from in Thai, if you're in a family, if you happen to have one child and that child is a female, this child now, when she grows up, this child does not have the rights to inherit the parents' the father's properties. Now, if you want to inherit your parents' properties, it is either you remain there with you will not get married. You remain in your father's house and bear children, and yes. Then, if you get married, that's the properties of your parents will be shared by, let's say, the compound, the family. Now, I want the lawyers now, because most of these women, they want to push. They want to, like, get justice, but they don't know the process, the procedures, what it takes for them to get this justice. So most of them, they are afraid of money. They think money is the only way to getting this justice. So I want our lawyers to here now to explain, enlighten the women on the steps and what it takes for them to get this justice. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to say a big thank you to the lawyers. I have learned a lot personally, and I'm happy that I'm here. My question is simple. I would like to take it down. It good make woman when they inside marriage. Make that woman get personal will. If you get personal properties as a woman when they inside marriage, it good make you go get your own personal will. That is the first question. Then the second one is, the lawyer said something about purchasing of properties. If you're purchasing a property with your husband, it could make, okay, how you go take address them? You talk something about properties. Now, if me and my husband want buy property together, probably we contribute money together to say buy that property. How the address supposed to be for the property? Thank you.
My first question is about inheriting family property. Number one question, what are my rights under customary law? Then number two is about equal opportunity for self-expression. Are there opportunity for women rather, to challenge and change societal norms that limit women's self-expression?
Please, I want the lawyer to explain more about on the next of kin issues. If you are a next of kin to a brother that is not married, single, and he died, do you have rights over his property?
Does court marriage guarantee you to have property with your husband?
There's nothing like an illegitimate child. And before I started, I was talking about how a judge talked about a child does not determine the form the child comes, whether you're coming as a female or a male. Same thing applies to a child does not determine whether you come from, whether you are born out of wedlock and the rest of it. So this also applies to a child. So anyhow the child comes, as far as there is a father and then there is a mother, the child is not illegitimate.
Okay, about the rights to inheritance under customary law, I was going to add that where the unexpected or the most avoided or what we do not want, which is death, where it has taken place and there was no will in place, there is equality under the law. There is an office under the Ministry of Justice called Office of the Administrator General and Public Trustees. So whoever in the family, whether you are the last son or the last daughter, whether you are aged one, provided you are a child of that family, take the step, go to that office and apply for the letters of administration. These letters of administration are of two arms. Like I talked about will, when the person dies, the person is said to die testate. That's the will. The person who writes a will is a testator. And where a person dies without writing a will is called intestacy. So you can, where the family is in unity, you can go to the probate at the high court, and then like the polygamous home where there are different kitchens, you can appoint representatives to become administrators to that estate. But where there is no unity in the family, you will be given the letters of administration. But where there is no unity in the family, then you go to the Administrator General, where you do that surrender. You say, everything, my papa, let the state become the father. Okay, the letters of administration will be given to the Administrator General, and everybody in that family, whether anybody who was a beneficiary, whether it's the father of your parents, anybody will now become beneficiaries.
There are two ways to go about it. She said you can go to the high court where you have probate and go and apply. All of you involved will go and apply for letters of administration. So like if it's a polygamous home, all the sections, the different mama them go send maybe one person where go follow go get them. But if confusion too much, like she was asking what are her rights, you alone can walk down to, for instance, the Ministry of Justice and approach to say, see, you go to the estate department, see my situation, my father just died, we are 5 children, we are 10 children, 2-3 mothers, the boys want to sell it off. So what you do by that, you will surrender whatever properties they are to the state. You will supply even the bank accounts. Oh, my papa been get account for Union Bank, for FCMB. You supply. The state will go and check and say, okay, 20,000 day here, 30,000 day here. This house now like this. The state will now summon everybody. You go list, but then go to investigation too. Then come summon everybody away from that family to address the issue and share equally. So you have rights under customary law. That's what we have said. It's when you sleep on it or you do nothing about it that it now becomes an issue.
So my onset, while I sat there, I said it was a wow. So now we live in wow. Are we empowered? Yes. Do we know where we stand now? Yes. Do we know how we can go about it? Yes. What do you say to this panelists? Thank you so much. I'm really excited. I'm sure we didn't make a mistake meeting them, and they also accepting to be in our midst. They didn't just speak as lawyers, they also spoke as mothers, as wives, and as Ogoni women. So they actually touched, the notch and the niche of everything that's actually affecting us. So I really want to thank you on behalf of the Ogoni women seated here. Thank you so much. So with this, I want to say that we've brought this very session to an end. I want to thank you, and you still sit, you will have your refreshment, and then we'll go to the next segment. Thank you so much.